overall thoughts on how the game went?
You guys worked really hard. I thought the effort was there, and we just couldn't find a way to score a goal.
So we asked earlier today about this game and if it was, any more to it, given it was the Florida Panthers, right? And we're very focused on the standings. But should this game have been about a little more than that? And did you feel the pride kick in from your players that's required? 4-0 on a night, a team that came in here that doesn't have much to play for.
12:02. Welcome to the Boston Pizza Oil Stream. We are going to be at Boston Pizza, 200 St. Albert Road next Wednesday.
Yeah.
200 St. Albert Road next Wednesday, out in St. Albert.
Yeah.
Where did my pen go? Nance, was my pen sitting over there? Did I put my pen down? Oh, don't throw a pen. Caught it.
You caught it.
Well, landed on my belly.
That's a catch.
But
Did it hit the ground?
Nope.
That's a catch.
Actually, that would be a catch.
Yeah.
So I guess technically I did catch it.
It's baseball season, baby.
Baseball season is Blue Jays begin a week from today. So that's exciting.
I know you got to get to liners and all that, but really quickly.
Yes.
I am very much excited to get back into baseball on the PlayStation. And I will be purchasing MLB The Show 26, which just came out.
Where does this excitement come from?
Just the start of the ball season, World Baseball Classic, talking about MVP Baseball 2005.
That was a classic. I threw a no-hitter. Oh, I threw a perfect game, actually, against my buddy Vis. With Bartolo Colon. Just a steady diet of two-seamers inside on him.
Do you know who I traded for as or maybe he was already on the Athletics? I would always go to the bullpen, and I would use Wandering Cone.
Would you really?
I would.
He's automatic.
He was so good.
Yeah. Were you guys talking about that today on the
I
Hangout?
brought it up because I have the itch. Now, I was showing Jay. I'm trying to cash in.
That 05 game was one of my favorite. That one, Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball on Sega back in the day.
Yes.
That was good too.
That was a classic. I used to play Super Bases Loaded on Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
But I was telling Jay, I'm trying to cash in some damn Aeroplan points to get a gift card to the PlayStation store so I could. The game's $90, and that's not even the deluxe edition. And I can't order anything. And I spent 3 hours on the phone with Aeroplan. They bounced me between the e-store and the main.
I didn't even know you could use Aeroplan points for that.
Oh, I've purchased golf clubs, all kinds of great stuff on Aeroplan.
Really?
They have a great rewards store, but I can't get my order to go through. It's very frustrating. I just want to buy this damn baseball game. I won't be able to play it till Sunday anyway, but
that'll be fun though.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm excited for you, buddy.
Thank you.
Now, I used to be like, I'm going to do a baseball season and play every game the whole year.
No, can't.
So how do you operate? Do you just do one-offs? Because can't you do a 29-game season or something like that? Or
I think with MVP baseball, I'll probably try to remember what I did 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure I'd play one game of every series and then sim the others.
Okay, so that's still a good chunk of games.
And I think it depend on, if I was on the road, I used the Athletics. That was my team.
Okay.
Sometimes I'd play the AAA games in the farm.
Yeah.
Because it would say it would have all
just to see how it is.
Just check out my roster, see how they're doing. And it depends where we were playing. If it was the A's playing in Tampa, I hated Tropicana Field. So I would skip that series and I would play a AAA game instead.
Really?
Yeah. And then
that's a pretty good commitment to it, buddy.
I really enjoyed that game. So I have not played the show ever. I watched a couple of videos on it.
The show's pretty. The show, I used to buy the show, and then I'd realize that I would only play it a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's a good game. It's a really good game.
I want in, so.
I like that, buddy. I'm happy for you.
Thanks,
Marshall's been playing the NBA game lately.
I have
NBA 25 or
I think
it's NBA 25.
I tried it. I'm terrible at it.
Yeah, you got to get a good feel for those games. Yeah. He's starting to do that. So much of what I realize this is why I still think the CFL's got to find a way to get the video game thing be going. Because Marshall will play Madden and he'll be obsessed with the NFL for a month and a half.
Yeah.
Then he'll go back to NHL. He'll play NHL for a month and a half, be obsessed with hockey. And then now he's playing the NBA game. He's like, Daddy, I want to go to Wayne's and buy some NBA cards. Like, it's just such a big influence on what they're talking about, right? So,
yeah, because you get into that mode or that feeling, and the wave catches you. With the CFL, like they had that opportunity. Remember, I think you had him on, or maybe we did at 1260. David Winter. He created Maximum Football.
Yeah, that was a little bit of different, right? Yeah,
and it was he wanted to make it a CFL game.
Had Doug Flutie be a part of it too, I think.
Yeah, eventually Doug Flutie hopped on. He was the cover athlete, and then he sold it to another developer, and they've done a great job overhauling it. The college system, they don't have any licenses, obviously. And they took out the CFL rules, which is super unfortunate.
Yeah.
I have it on my PS5. I played it. It's pretty good. You can go in and create every CFL team, but to actually have the CFL license for a game like that would be amazing.
There's a guy, Nelson Hakowich, who does all the CFL rosters and like lineups and you can download them on the college football game. So
that's
Marsh
cool.
and I would be playing Bombers and Riders, and it was fun. It's kind of fun.
But you don't have 3 downs. You don't have the field.
No, it's different. Yeah, I'd love to play 3 down.
I
video
want
game.
that. Yeah,
that would be very cool to try. I guess we can all dream. Season-long fantasy's coming. I have to think maybe there's a 3 down football game at some point. Fingers crossed. Dave in Section T says, perfect day to delay talking about hockey for as long as possible. How are the Grapefruit League's teams doing this year?
I don't know. Great.
I know.
Wonderful.
I know. We're going to get into the Troll even says, thank God baseball season is starting. Hockey season in Edmonton looks like it will be over very soon. All right. Well, I mean, we're going to hear what Knoblauch had to say. Very fascinating conversation last night with Knoblauch and the media who were at the game. I'm going to break down that second goal again on the screen here.
Oh, I like that.
That was, I mean, what are those two guys doing? Like,
buddy.
So there's lots to get to as we work our way through this show today, but let's just start post game last night. How was the breakdown and what the hell happened to this team?
I don't know. I'm caught between debating, were they fat and sassy because they had won their last 2 and felt good about their game and thought that they could cruise through a beat up Panthers squad, or was it just their true colors showing and they're just an okay, aka good team in the NHL when, they play in a bad division and it kept them afloat so far this season? I have severe doubts that they are going to wake up, that they are going to string together a 6 and 7 win stretch or something like that. And we're 70 games in. Again, I'll reiterate, and they really have not shown us that. I know people downplay the lack of winning streaks, but to me, it's a big thing. For the sake of the fan base, and listen, we got to talk about the ticket prices too at some point.
Yeah, it's not as much of a drastic increase as I first heard yesterday.
Yeah,
but they're going up, and it's a tough look to email all your people and be like, hey, here's the prices this year, and they're going up 5, 10, 15%, and then lose to the team that you've lost in the last 2. Like, that's just, they should have done playoff ticket release day on a day outside of the Florida Panthers day.
Whoops. I had staff yesterday asking me if I saw the prices, and I was like, I have not. Tell me more. And they're like, well, you can judge for yourself when you see it.
Lower bowl, non-club, 2 tickets if they go the distance, $26,000.
Come on.
Yeah. That's a lot. I mean, that's a lot of money. And that's not even a club seat down there. That's just your regular lower
Down
bowl.
low, yeah.
2 tickets if they go the distance, $26,000. So she'd be a pricey playoff run if there is a playoff run. I want to ask this question before we get into Knoblauch and last night's game, Tommy. I've been thinking for 24 hours. Why did you mix up the lines?
I don't know. We were thinking
what was the logic behind that? You're coming off a win. You played an awesome third period. You have the same line. I know Kapanen was a game time, whatever. He played. You could have just ran it back. I'm trying to. I can't for the life of me think of one good reason why that actually made legitimate sense.
Okay, he was asked about that after the morning skate, and I think he said he pointed back to the Tuesday game against San Jose where he had to change things up a little, and he wanted to ride that out. If I'm remembering correctly.
How much did he change up in that game, though? I don't. Like in the third period, were they running different lines than they started with?
I think they made a tweak at some point, and he alluded to that. And so we had to change yesterday. I don't know, man. And then obviously we saw by the end of the game when they're chasing it, Nugent Hopkins back with McDavid and Hyman. So shocking.
Yeah, that one just didn't make sense to me. I don't know. I know a lot of people like to criticize his line combinations all the time. And earlier in the year, it was like trying everything. Then it kind of looked like pre-Draisaitl injury, they'd sort of lock some things in.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a game that, I mean, it was really nothing but praise after Tuesday's game outside of, they fell asleep a little bit in the second period against San Jose, but you loved their third period. They gave up nothing. They were getting depth scoring. You had 10 forwards who had a point in a hockey game, which doesn't happen very often for this team. And then you decide to mix up the lines for the very next game? Like, to me, that's a no-brainer. Run it back. Do it again. So I don't know. That doesn't make a lot of sense.
There was a lot of bizarre stuff yesterday that came from the coach's room, it felt like.
Like outside of his availability? What else?
Well, the changing of the lines and I was like, what's going on here? I don't know.
You can text us anytime, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Okay, let's get to this now because we're going to just spend a lot of time. I know people want to discuss this. So this was Knoblauch after the game yesterday. It's about 7 minutes. I think about the first 6:20. There's a question about Savoy at the end that I really don't care about. So we'll give it probably about the first 6:20. How would you describe this, Tommy? Not combative, but maybe not giving the media the answers they were looking for. Is that
I couldn't tell if he was deflecting or not, and or if there was a strategy behind his answers. It was maybe he wasn't playing the game with them. I don't know. It was a strange, to me. It was an odd post-game interview where last night you text, you're like, hot mic, and I at one point said,
I heard the one thing on the foot. You're like, come on.
And that was me reacting to what he was saying. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, did you really believe what you just said? I'm still kind of befuddled, and Benny and I tried to figure it out after we ran it and couldn't.
All right, here's Knoblauch last night after the game.
Your overall thoughts on how the game went?
The guys worked really hard, and I thought the effort was there, and we just couldn't find a way to score a goal.
So we asked you earlier today about this game and if it was, any more to it, given it was the Florida Panthers, right? And you were very focused on the standings. But, should this game have been about a little more than that? And did you feel the pride kick in from your players that's required? Like, it's 4-0 on a night, a team that came in here that doesn't have much to play for, that should mean a lot for you guys.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it that they didn't show up and play tonight. We came out strong. First 10 minutes, I thought had the majority of the play. We had one shift there where a couple of opportunities to score. Puck gets popped out. They get a breakaway goal. And after that, I think we were flat. Probably if we were flat, it was for the last 10 minutes of the third period. After they scored their first goal up until the end of the first period. That's probably the part of the game I didn't like. But overall, I would maybe criticize us maybe not shooting the puck enough. I thought I thought the effort was there. We couldn't find a goal, and I think a lot of it had to do with us not shooting enough.
I guess what I'm wondering is if it's concerning to you that on a night like tonight there was anything left to doubt, that there's anything left in the tank for your group after tonight, given the opponent and the situation in the standings.
I don't understand your question.
Were you okay with just the overall competitiveness of your group in trying to beat this team that's beat you twice in the final, and with the points on the line and how important they are for your group? Are you good with what your players put out there overall tonight?
You look at the score and you're disappointed with the score. I'm going to look at the scoring chances tomorrow and see what the advantage was. And, I could be wrong, but I think that was a game that I certainly don't think we were outplayed. Maybe if we wanted some more enthusiasm with maybe more fights, physicality, we could have some of that. But the fact that we just didn't put the puck in the net and they did, I think was a big story of the game.
How do you feel you handled the Panthers' forecheck tonight? And did you see anything you could have done differently to counteract it?
No, I thought we broke out the puck really well. They had their stops. I know our forecheck had some stops. We're not going to break it out easily every single time, but I don't see their forecheck giving us an issue tonight.
Trent Frederick, any news on him?
No news yet.
Do you, stylistically, these guys play a game that you guys have to struggle with? It's hard to beat them. Everyone has a hard time beating them. That's why they won 2 cups. Does it get any easier? Do you see things tonight your team did against them that you hadn't seen in the past? From the scoreboard, it doesn't look like there were any, but as a coach, do you see any?
Anything that they were doing differently?
Yeah, anything. Are you having any success cracking this nut? These guys beat you a lot, right? And tonight they come in here and beat you again. Are you making any progress against the Florida Panthers? Would be my question.
The series is, we won 1 game this year. They won 1. You look at the finals last 2 years, it was a razor thin the first year that they beat us in the finals. And the last year, they were the better team. We were also missing Hyman. They weren't missing anybody. I think they were a little bit better team. So, I don't know. Tonight, to evaluate that they dominate us, I think is an overstatement.
Was tonight a night you sorely missed Leon Draisaitl on the power play?
Anytime you don't have Leon, you're going to miss.
But you weren't. You had the puck in their end a lot, but nothing was happening.
Yeah, you need to find somebody to make that next play. That whether that's finding Hyman out of the back door or a one-time shot. You're never going to replace that. Tonight, getting a power play goal in the second period might have changed the outcome of the game. Yeah, we missed them, but I still think we've got a pretty good power play with the 5 guys that we have.
Kris, your game in Florida, you'd recalled Connor Clattenburg. They're a team that plays a hard, firm, direct, competitive style, and he got things, including your team, emotionally engaged. Do you think you had enough emotional engagement tonight? And was there anybody that you could get further down the lineup that could provide that?
Yeah. I don't know. I think we're overlooking the fact that we won. I'm not sure we were more physically engaged. I don't think we had them rattled. I like Clattenburg. I think he's a great player for us. I think he adds a lot. But just to say that I think whatever he provided in 7-8 minutes changed how our team played that night, I think is just not how it happened.
Kris, further to the power play.
All right, so there you go. That was Knoblauch after the game last night. Your thoughts on it, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. If you're watching over on YouTube, you can chime in there as well. Like from the way that Knoblauch might view the game, he might think they actually played pretty well last night.
Listening to it a 3rd or 4th time now.
Like, don't you think he believes what he's saying?
Yes.
I think he believes that he thought they, the one he said that they weren't outplayed last night. Like, I think he believes that.
Yeah.
And if you are an analytical believer, you can kind of back that up a little bit.
Right.
This is a big time eye test analytical type of game, I think. Like, if you watch that game last night, if you're an Oilers fan, you're sitting there going, come on, guys. Like, get it together. If you're an analytical guy, you're going, actually, the high danger chances favored the Edmonton Oilers tonight. They just couldn't beat Bobrovsky. But I don't know. I tend to lean
and that's
more towards they had to bring more in that game last night. Like,
did the analytics also pick up on the sag after they allowed the first goal, and then the sag after they allowed the second goal late in the first period, and how they couldn't. Like, Knoblauch goes, I thought we were breaking the puck out well. And I think my response last night on the postgame, and I'll stand by it today, pardon me. Yeah, you broke it out, but only when you got the puck. And how often were you getting the puck from the Panthers? Because they were all over you in your zone. All over you.
Yeah, I didn't think they handled that well last night.
The Panthers were a handful, man.
Your reaction on this to 780-218-9999. Troll says, we were disappointed with the score because last time I checked, that's the only thing that matters. Who cares if you were better on Corsi or whatever stat it is you want to look at? DJ texts in and says, this sounds like a coach that has lost the room, possibly. I don't think he's our coach to get us to a Stanley Cup, to be honest with you, as much as I do like him. So that's DJ who says, I like this guy, but I just don't think he's the one that's going to put him over the top. He's had a couple of chances to do it now, and I'm not going to hang the last 2 Stanley Cup finals just on coaching. But he's had a couple of cracks at it.
I think he's feeling the pressure from a lot of places. He's been put into a jam, let's call it.
Yeah?
That's how I feel about it.
A jam in what fashion, do you think?
Well, you're fighting to get into the playoffs, first of all.
Yeah.
Just lose your superstar centerman. You have the second in command of the organization now on your bench.
Yeah.
And he's the people's champ. The people love Paul Coffey. There's a belief out there that he has fixed the defense to a certain extent, which I would quite highly question.
With the exception of the second goal last night, which we'll get to.
You could even point out a couple others, but
yeah.
And I think there's pressure from the owner, and the fan base is certainly not quiet. Obviously, you heard it from our peers in the media yesterday. There were no softballs yesterday outside of the Trent Frederick one. Yeah, I think he's feeling the heat. That's my interpretation.
780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. We are going to dive into the numbers game for Play Alberta. And the one, it was a Swainer stat from last night on the post-game show that I wanted to kind of focus on.
You want me to bring it up?
The goals against through 70 games.
Yes.
That one I found hard to believe.
Ouch.
Like when I once you think about it, you go, okay, yeah, I guess it has kind of been that loose this year. But what was that number again, Tommy?
Right. This is from Brian Swain, our buddy and stats guru. Dug this one up. Oilers goals against through 70 games, 23-24, 203. 24-25, 202. 25-26, they have allowed 236 goals against. That's an increase of nearly 0.5 per game from the last 2 seasons. And then Swainer added, this is the second most goals against the Oilers have allowed through 70 games since 1995-96. And it's the only season with more in that span was 2009-2010. They allowed 240 through 70 games, and that was the year they finished 30th.
They finished last.
Dead last.
That year, yeah.
Yeah.
Has it seemed that bad defensively throughout the entire season?
More so early in the season.
Early in the season, but when Skinner was around, all people wanted to do was bitch about goals against.
Right, and Pickard too, obviously.
Yeah.
And they have had some blowout games against, and that hasn't helped.
Allowed some big totals, yeah.
But how many times have we talked about, like, the over is so heavily favored in every Oilers game.
Yeah.
And it always seems to hit, right?
Yeah.
And that adds up. There's not many 3-2 games this team plays in.
Yeah, that's not really necessarily how they operate, right?
No. And yes, they score a ton, and it has certainly helped, but they also get toasted on and roasted on a lot of nights.
Smitty the Welder says the second goal. What about the first one? Well, I'm going to bring up the second one. What'd you think of the first one, buddy?
Well, they get the opportunity at one end, and they try to work it. I know in tight, Connor tried to chip it to whoever might be open, and it led to the pass out of the zone and the 2-on-1 the other way, or the breakaway the other way. Classic, like almost score at one end and get scored on the other end. Now, I admire Evan Bouchard's hustle, but I would have hoped that maybe instead of going for a stick lift, you were close enough to push
Not going to happen.
Cole Reinhardt off the puck.
That's not going to happen.
And it didn't happen. And instead, the stick lift was ineffective, and Reinhardt made a nice little move with speed.
It was a nice little finish because there was some speed there.
Yeah.
Not blaming Ingram for the goal.
No, but I just wondered, maybe you could have pushed him off balance or off his line to the net. What do I know about playing defense, though? Not much.
All right, and this is the second goal. We kind of went over this on the Nielsen show this morning as well. But this is the awareness or lack of from these two guys. If you're wondering why they've given up the second most goals through 70 games in 30 years.
Yeah.
This is a pretty good clip of why it happens.
I like the way you broke it down on social media. Go ahead.
This is kind of...
The floor is yours.
All right, so look. Greer has the puck. He's going in behind the net. All right? Bouch is going to chase him in behind the net. Darnell Nurse is going to take off on that far post and cut him off over here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so boom. They're both here. They're both going to go play him. All right, so Bouch
Puck's gone, by the way.
The puck is now gone. You're right. Puck has just left. Bouchard is going in to put the shoulder into him. I think Nurse is trying to take a peek at the puck, but he's going to finish the check on Greer as well. So they both... Bouch kind of got a shoulder on him. Nurse sort of lunged at him a little bit.
Yep.
Puck has been played around into the far corner. All right, as it continues. This is where it gets really good. So right here, see Bouch? Peeks over his shoulder.
Yeah, you pointed
to
this out
see what's
yesterday.
happening with Greer, right? So he's like, oh, okay, where's Greer going? I'll take a look at him here. Darnell Nurse is watching the puck, kind of goes to where he probably should be.
That's where you should go, yes.
Right? This is where he should be.
That's his side.
All right, so the play continues. Watch right here. Right before here, you're going to see Bouch take another peek, this time over his right shoulder. I feel like the Zapruder film on
The Zapruder film?
Yeah, from McKennedy. Yeah. Back. He looks back and to the right. Bouch looks back and to the right. So watch this. His head is going to, you'll just see it ever so slightly. You can tell he takes a peek over on this side of the net. Watch it right here. Wait. Right there.
Right
see
there.
that? The little head peek.
Yeah.
So he looks to the right side of the net.
Right.
And still decides to stay there. And if you watch, when the shot comes in, he even moves further away than where he is.
He does that.
Which is already out of the way. Watch, here comes a shot. Oh, I'll just glide over here to the left. And he kind of looks like, oh, I don't want to get hit. Nurse has just got the best view of the... How many times do the Edmonton Oilers get shots from the point with this?
Look,
how often does that happen?
Can I show you something? Look how perfect the lane is to the net.
It's beautiful.
And which players are right in Ingram's face? A Panther.
Yeah, there's a Panther who could be a high screen or a rebound instantly.
Yeah.
Nobody on him. And then Greer standing right here and Nurse and Bouch. Like, what are these guys doing? How are you making... This is $20 million.
It is.
This is $20 million in your back end. Tell me what these guys are doing.
Watching a goal go in.
And then, boom, Greer tips it home.
Nice tip.
Nurse and Bouch are doing absolutely nothing. You want it again?
That video clip is called Horrible Florida
Horrible
Goal.
Florida goal. I edited it last night. It was late. I was already pissed. I'm like, I can't believe I have to be cutting through tape for two guys that make $20 million who are they coached to say completely out of the way, leave guys wide open in front?
Part of me is wondering if they are being told to let the goalie see it, but there's zero engagement there.
$20 million for this to allow Greer. Like, he didn't even have to work on this tip. He saw the puck the entire bloody way in. Nobody was on him.
How close is this being to being tipped by this?
Well, yeah, I mean that too. I mean, there's that option too. Awful. Like, it's been a tough year, but Bouch twice looked at Greer and still just opted to lurk over to the left.
Yeah. AJ Greer, he of 12 goals this season.
12 goals, yeah. Like, to me, there are, and I understand the Oilers have their minions out doing a Bouch campaign for the Norris Trophy. Like, they're going to push this out. I have said myself, I think he should be a finalist because the Norris Trophy is usually based on points, whether it should be or not. Chris Johnson, though, this morning did come up and say, the award defined itself talks about all-round defensemen. I don't know if it's necessarily viewed that way.
Then vote that way, because Erik Karlsson won with a -25 one year.
That play right there is why Bouch wasn't on Team Canada.
Yes.
And that play right there is, as brilliant as he is offensively, is why he's probably not going to get voted to win the Norris Trophy this year. Is he going to make a valid case for it? Sure. He's brilliant offensively. There are hockey accounts on Twitter who literally last night pointed out that they thought he was elite at both ends of the ice last night, which I have since muted those accounts today because I'm not going to waste my life seeing these ridiculous takes. I'm sorry. Last night was not a game that you would put up in the Norris Trophy playlist. Does he have a bunch of them? Yes, he does. Mm-hmm. He's brilliant offensively. He's better defensively than he has been. He's probably a little bit better defensively than these types of plays lead us to believe he is.
Yeah.
But that's why he's not on Team Canada. Like that's the reason. Right there, you can't make that play like that. You looked at him go behind the net, and you looked at him come around the far side of the net. And I could see even if he tap Nurse and be like, hey, slide over and get him, and I'll take this side. But there's no communication. Like those two dudes can't be on the ice together. I'm sorry. And I know, I don't know who it was. Somebody laid it out. I think somebody, I can't remember where I don't know who said it, but I heard the other day say, I'd like to see more of those two guys together because analytically they're not bad.
Who the hell said that?
But I know it was said.
It has never worked.
I do remember who the person was. I like him. I'm not going to name him. But you can't want more of Nurse and Bouchard. And if you do, then there's a problem with the analytics. I'm sorry. I get it. They're valuable. I understand that. But you can't have those two guys on the ice together. You simply can't do it.
They tried it a few years ago. It lasted, I think, a period, and it was a disaster. And anytime it happens, sometimes stuff like this pops up, which is not good. No bueno, as we like to say.
So anyway, that's $20 million. And then you got another $7 million in defenseman whose contract hasn't even kicked in yet.
Awesome.
And I don't even know how often you could play him in a critical moment defensively down the stretch in a hockey game either. So they got some issues on the back end that I'm not sure they should trust Stan Bowman to correct. But looks like that'll probably end up being the case. So anyway, that's your Play Alberta numbers game.
That was nice.
Well, they've just, how do you, if you're wondering, wow, how do they allow so many goals? Do they have elite goaltending? No, they don't. Mm-mm. But you're telling me you're a goaltender that wants to play with those two guys standing to your left? Come on. Pick somebody up. And if they're being coached to completely avoid physical contact in front of the net, then you should fire that guy too. Because you can't play in the National Hockey League. Like, you're going to get to the playoffs and allow goals to go in that easily?
Not going to last long.
What are we doing here? 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Baggio says the first goal was reminiscent of the last two Stanley Cup finals. Huge opportunity for the Oilers, and immediately Florida scores on a breakout. These plays play repeatedly in my head every day. Yeah, that was Baggio. That wasn't me. That was Baggio.
Baggio also has 94 seared into his mind. Over the crossbar. You know that reference, right?
Sorry, I was
Roberto Baggio.
Oh, I don't know if I know that reference.
World Cup against Brazil, he had the penalty kick, goes right over the crossbar.
Oh no,
yeah,
that sucks.
He also had a mullet back then. It was a bit of a rat tail.
A lot of people kind of had mullets back then.
I might have.
I never did that.
Good for you.
Did you have the not full blown mullet, but like good half mullet?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a lot of buddies who had hair like that.
Yeah.
I've had the same haircut since I was born, basically. Outside of when I moved out and grew like an afro. Outside of that, it's always been kind of like the same.
It was quite impressive, that afro.
Same thing. 780-218-9999. Zachary over on the YouTube chat says, oh no, we suck again.
I don't know.
I don't think they suck again. I think the entire division sucks again.
Yes.
Not again. I think the entire division sucks this year, which allows the Oilers to still be my pick to get to the conference final in just an absolutely all-time bizarre season.
But you got to eliminate those types of goals.
And we said that for 70 games.
We certainly have.
70 games. We've been talking about this stuff.
Is that enough of a sample size?
Why would we expect this team to all of a sudden be any different?
I don't, but others might, and that's okay. There's a thing called hope, and you're allowed to have it.
All right, keep the text coming in.
We're a little bit fired up, are we?
Well, I
love it.
I just don't know how you're paying $20 million to two guys who make a play that badly on the, look, Evan Bouchard is a significantly better defenseman than Darnell Nurse. Okay? Let me start by saying that. But that goal we just showed you, I'm hanging on Bouch. Now, at the same time, can you sit there if you're Darnell Nurse? Like, I don't know what's worse. Nurse didn't even look in that direction. Bouch looked and did nothing about it.
Twice.
Like, I don't even know what is worse. But this is a fan base that is extremely passionate, and you've got an organization that just continues to botch any opportunity. Anytime they get cap space, they screw it up. Anytime.
And don't call them out on it, or they might get mad at you.
Story for another day.
That's right.
Like, it's, I don't know, it's unacceptable. What percentage chance would you put on this team being able to put together a Stanley Cup run?
12%.
Oh, that's even probably better than I thought. What's that? Is it Money Puck?
Money Puck.
What's the Money Puck wheel say? Is there a way you can find the old updated Money Puck wheel?
Spin that
Don't they
bad
do
boy?
like the...
They have the
it's all pie chart?
Yeah.
Money Puck pie chart.
NHL pie chart.
What does it say for Oilers Stanley Cup
It's
championship?
fascinating because the odds go down by round, and the equations and all that are neat.
Here's the Money Puck. Money Puck on Twitter at
As of today?
At Money Puck. This is as of 2 days ago.
Okay.
The 18th. So so this is the 18th. The Edmonton Oilers. Oh, I can't
Top
even.
left.
It's
Top
such
left.
it's such a small piece of the pie.
Oh, yeah.
4.1% chance of winning the Stanley Cup.
So you're saying I'm optimistic.
You're a huge homer, Tommy. You're a huge homer. This is 2 days ago. Here are the odds of, or the chances of it. Just trying to see here. Okay, so Edmonton was at 4.1. Vegas is at 3.9.
Mm-hmm.
Boston's at 3.5. Tampa's at 7.1. They're in town tomorrow. We'll get to that here at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell which one of so the Panthers are 0.2 there. The Ottawa Senators, who aren't currently in a playoff spot, are 5.2% chance to win the cup. Buffalo 6.1, should probably be higher.
They're not getting the respect I think they deserve by a lot of people.
Huss had a great note on the lock shop today. They are in their last 40 games. Buffalo is 32-6-2.
That's insane.
The last team to put that together through a 40-game stretch, 95-96 Detroit Red Wings. Like, that's how good Buffalo has been for 40 games.
Who won the cup? No, lost the cup.
Did they lose that year?
To New Jersey? No.
In 96?
Colorado won that year.
So they must have lost to Colorado in like a bloodbath in the playoffs?
That makes, yes.
Yeah.
Because Colorado beat Florida.
Colorado did win that was the
Then
Uwe Krupp year.
Yeah, then the Wings won 96 or 97 and 98.
Who's this 13%? Carolina. Carolina's 13%. Blue Jackets 3.5. Dallas is 11.7. Colorado's 13.1. Minnesota is 7.2. So if you're looking at percentages to win the cup,
That's
the
fascinating.
Edmonton Oilers are still there. But like even this thing against Florida last night, like Florida has the same amount of wins as the Oilers in 2 less games. Like my mistake, I erred yesterday in setting it up because in my mind I was just like, oh, Florida's not a good hockey team, and
Yeah.
but from a winning percentage perspective, they're actually a better hockey team than the Edmonton Oilers.
And they're third last in the Eastern Conference at 71 points. Edmonton, second in the Pacific at 77 points with a 550 points percentage. Florida has a 522, but yeah, 34 wins. Edmonton, 34 wins.
All right, keep the text messages coming in at 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Ibn Dangle says, didn't Detroit beat Florida in the finals?
Yes. But it was, I think the conference final was...
No, Colorado. Colorado beat Florida.
Sorry. I think it was one of those bloodbath playoff series in 95-96. The Red Wings beat... who'd they beat in 97? Philly, and then Washington
In 97 and 98.
That's right. And they lost to New Jersey in 95.
New Jersey won in 95, and then Colorado. That was a real good run there for a few teams. Even Dallas got in the mix there.
They did, and then they won in 99, went to the final again in 2000. That was a Jason Arnett game winner. 95, 96 playoffs. That was the year Gretzky was a St. Louis Blue. Remember the Steve Yzerman slap shot goal?
Yeah.
And it was
on
a
John
Gretzky
Casey
turnover.
from just inside the blue line.
Because
Is that a Gretzky turnover?
Yeah. And John Casey was in net because in the round prior, Kyprios ran Grant Fuhr.
And Grant Fuhr was
tore
hurt.
his knee up.
Yeah. That being said, I always liked John Casey as well.
He was the everyman goalie. And he took... Did he not take the North Stars to the Stanley Cup final in 1991?
He was their goalie in 91.
Yeah. Okay, so...
he was the goalie in 91 for the North Stars. That's right.
The Avs disposed of the powerhouse Wings 4-2 in the conference final. And then Florida beat Pittsburgh in 7 to get to the Cup final. Ouch.
Really? Florida knocked off Pittsburgh in 7.
Yeah. That would have been Lemieux, Yager, Francis, Stevens.
Imagine that team
Barrasso.
against Colorado in the Stanley Cup final.
Way better series. It wouldn't have been a
Nothing against
sweep.
Florida, but that would
Yeah.
that would have been... How many Hall of Famers would have been in that series?
I think Larry Murphy... Oh, no. Where would Murphy have been at that point? Maybe he was with the Pens at that point. 95, 96 Penguins. Because he bounced around a lot. I think he ended up in Toronto around 97. Larry Murphy. Larry Murphy was with... he got traded from Pittsburgh the year prior to Toronto. So he was a Leaf in 95, 96.
Who'd they get for him in that deal?
Great question. Let's have a look.
Their warm body coming back?
Dmitry Mironov.
Oh.
And
Dmitry
the second
Mironov.
round pick in 96. That's a good haul.
Larry Murphy, for a great defenseman, was traded. Like, how many times did it say he was traded on there? Like 5 times?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, he was traded for one of our guests coming up today.
For one of our guests coming up today.
On the Reed Wilkins show.
Brian Engblom.
Yes.
Really?
1983, traded from L.A. to Washington for Brian Engblom and Ken Houston. In 1989, on March 7th, he was traded from Washington with Mike Gartner to Minnesota for Dino Ciccarelli and Bob Rouse.
That's a huge deal.
That's a big one.
Gardner and Murphy.
Yeah.
Like just a good old-fashioned hockey trade.
Yes. Was traded December 11th of 1990 from Minnesota with Peter Taglianetti to Pittsburgh for Chris Dahlquist and Jimmy Johnson. Great guy. 1995, on July 8th, traded from Pittsburgh to Toronto for Dmitry Mironov and a second-round pick in 96. And then in 1997, on March 18th, traded from Toronto to Detroit for future considerations. I think things went real bad for him.
Didn't work for him in Toronto, eh?
Yeah, and they sent him to Detroit, and he kind of resuscitated his career, won back-to-back cups, and then wrapped up his career in 2000.
I wonder what the future
2001.
considerations ended up being on that deal.
That would have been good. It doesn't have a link to it or anything.
I wonder. Good pickup for Detroit, though.
Played from 80-81 to 2000-2001.
How many points did he finish with?
He finished with 1,216 points. Damn.
Not bad.
287 goals, 929
Totally flies
assists.
under the radar. Like when you start talking about all-time great D-men, it feels like you have to get pretty far down the list before somebody says Larry Murphy.
He was damn good.
But he was good.
Is it because his name is
really
Larry and Murphy?
Maybe. Was he
Very
a
generic.
righty?
Righty.
He was a righty. I remember his hockey
6'2".
cards. So, and was he overly physical?
No, but he was.
That's what I'm saying.
He mucked it up.
Was
You
he
had to
was
be.
he Bouch before Bouch?
No. I think there was more. He had more jam to his game.
I think there was probably more jam.
He
to his
finished
game,
with
though.
over 1,000 penalty minutes.
Okay. Well, that adds up a bit. All right, let's get to your Popeye spicy headlines. If you're looking for lunch today, early afternoon, why not swing by Popeyes? I suggest the classic chicken sandwich, but they also have the 3-piece bone-in chicken right now. Marinated for 12 hours, hand-battered. Absolutely delicious. 3 pieces for just $8. You can get the whole combo for an extra $3 as well. That'll definitely fill you up. All right, so they get Tampa coming up.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do with the lines? Do you go back to the San Jose lines, or do you keep tweaking?
Tampa's going to play you hard. They'll fight you if you have anybody willing. You don't have... I don't know what the status of Trent Frederick will be. I know they're on the ice right now. Maybe we get an update from Kris Knoblauch today. I would probably want to have Podkolzin with Kapanen. I would go back to Savoy with McDavid and Hyman.
You put Dickinson between Kapanen and... But then what do you do if you leave Nuge and Roslovic with somebody else in?
That would be... And then who would be...
Or do you go Nuge between Kapanen and Podkolzin?
You could do that. And then Dickinson with Roslovic and Szymanski again.
Could do that. Here's what they've got. These are from practice. Tony had this 45 minutes ago, so right when we started. Frederick not on the ice. McDavid between Hyman and Savoy.
Okay.
Nuge with Kapanen and Podkolzin.
Okay.
Dickinson with Roslovic and Jones.
Oh.
And then Henrique with Szymanski and Järventie.
Okay.
And then Lazar skating as the extra forward still on the LTIR.
I talked to Laser yesterday.
Yeah.
He says he should be ready to go in a week.
Okay, so
but LTIR,
so he's getting closer.
Yeah,
so
was it 10 games, 24 days, something like that?
All right, so Lazar is getting closer. We'll be back before the playoffs, maybe next week, if not probably early the following week at the latest. So Frederick not on the ice. So Tommy, your thoughts on Dickinson, Roslovic, and Max Jones getting a look on what would be classified as your third line?
A little bit of everything there. A little bit of grit. Some responsibility from Dickinson, and then the offensive panache of Jack Roslovic. Not a small line either, which is good. Might be
with Jones and Dickinson. I mean, there's some size there.
Yeah, I would want the puck on Roslovic's stick to distribute. I would ask Max Jones to go hard to the net, and Dickinson kind of be the in between, the hybrid type of guy. I don't know. Like, you have a little bit of everything there. Maybe it works. The only way to find out is if you try it. I don't mind it, though. I don't mind it.
Roslovic has, let's see here. Since January 1st, he's got 5 goals and 4 assists. Playing about like 14 to 15 minutes a night. Hasn't had as much juicy time in the top 6 over that stretch. Like 5 goals in 2.5 months. Not great when he hung 9 up in November. You know, he had 9 goals in November, then had 2 in December. Only played 5 games. The offensive production hasn't been there since the injury.
It has not.
I don't think so. You'd like to see that sort of find its way once again as well. Ducky is texting and says, why isn't Quinn Hudson getting the call-up?
Okay, this is my guess, because they called up Järventie, Szymanski, and Jones in the time where they've needed bodies, right? What's the common denominator between all 3 of those guys? They're big.
Yeah, they all got... So yeah, because how big's what's Järventie?
Järventie's a 6'2".
6'2" type of thing, too.
Now, I don't know if he plays a big man's game, but he's had a good season down on the farm. So they say he's earned his chance, and I believe it. I'll take their word for it. But Jones, you've seen the grit, the tenacity. I think that was something they really wanted, especially losing Colton Dock. And then Szymanski's also a big body guy. Now, is he physical? Not really, but I think the theme here is they don't want to be small. And Hudson's, 5'10" or 5'11" or whatever. And although effective, killing it in the AHL, that's probably why we're not seeing him or Ike Howard right now.
Riding the Pine over on YouTube says, did the lines get all jumbled up because Dry won't be back for the playoffs and they're trying to find all new lines?
Okay, so yesterday I was told the expectation is that he should be ready for the playoffs. That's the expectation.
For the organization, they're like,
yeah.
They've kind of been told like he'll be good to go come playoff time.
Yeah.
Now things can change. Mm-hmm. Maybe he could come back a little bit sooner. Maybe he needs an extra, 3 to 5 days or something. But
yeah, everybody heals differently.
So, I mean, that's probably about as positive as you're going to get at this time. Well, what do you think happens against Tampa, buddy? What do you think
I don't like it.
Hernan's coming up on EST afternoon. I think he's pretty doom and gloom against Tampa.
I understand. I don't like it. I feel like this matchup going into it isn't good. The direction the Oilers have shifted in after last night, not good. So you know what that means? They'll probably win because that's what
That's
they do.
how the weird season's gone so far.
Exactly. If they do, great. They'll dig in, back against the wall, whatever you want to describe it as. And if they find a way against Tampa, which is a superior team to them through 70 games this season, then I'd say good, and then build on it next week because you got some 4-pointers coming up.
And Tampa is healthy up front.
Uh-oh.
Cirelli healthy, Kucherov healthy, Point healthy, Gensel healthy, Hagel healthy, Yanni Gord's healthy, Bjorkstrand's healthy, Corey Perry back in the house.
Yep.
I feel like that alone, like Corey Perry's not leaving here with an L on Saturday.
And
so
you had a great, I was listening intently to the Kucherov versus McDavid conversation you guys were having, and I think you guys made some good points. Like, he is a superstar in this league.
He's going to win the Art Ross.
If he was in Toronto, he would be the fifth best player in the history of the hockey.
With the way that he's been playing lately, I do think Kucherov wins the Art Ross this year. That'll be 3 years in a row, Tommy, that Kucherov's taking the Art Ross in the McDavid era.
Yeah.
But not one Hart Trophy in that 3-year stretch. Like, I don't think he's going to win it this year. He didn't win last year. He didn't win the year before. He won the Lindsay last year.
That's saying something.
But I'm going to look this up. I'm trying to think if there's ever been a guy who won 3 consecutive Art Rosses, but didn't get a Hart in there somewhere.
And that's a playoff team.
Yeah, I mean, he's won a Hart Trophy. It's not like he's a...
Yeah.
I don't know, but he's been absolutely on fire for like 3 months now. Like, insanely hot. And that's going to be tough to stop. Like, they're going to have to play so much better. And that post game with Knoblauch on Saturday could be an all-timer.
I don't know.
Could be an all-timer. Have fun with the pre and post game, I guess.
I always do.
What time does pregame get going on Saturday?
7 o'clock.
All right, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock start.
That's right.
One of the Hockey Night Canada League games, and then post game to follow for the Oilers and the Lightning.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a tough task, but we'll see if they're up for the challenge.
Yeah.
They weren't up for it last night. Nope. Next Wednesday, join Tommy and I. We're going to be in St. Albert. We'd love to have you pop by. 200 St. Albert Road, fully renovated location. Very much looking forward to it. So make plans to join us next Wednesday. Boston Pizza, 200 St. Albert Road. I'll be there for the lock shop as well. So EST will be set up from 11 until 1. We'd love to have you pop by. What's coming up on EST Afternoons there, Zach?
Well, lots coming up. We'll get to highlights, lowlights from the game yesterday. Hernan and myself will dive into the action. Oilers blanked by the Cats, of course, and we'll preview tomorrow's game against Tampa Bay. Eric Erlinson from lightninginsider.com will be checking in. We also got Zach to the Future, and Matt Iwanek will pay us a visit as well.
What time is Zach to the Future at?
1:40.
1:40,
yes.
A little Zach to the Future. All right, that is going to do it for the Oil Stream. Join Tommy tomorrow for the GCL Diesel pre- and post-game show. Pre-game gets going at 7 o'clock. Big game against Kucherov and the Tampa Bay Lightning. For Tommy Gazzola, I'm Dustin Nielson. I'll talk to you Monday morning, bright and early on the Nielson Show, recapping the weekend in sports. Take it easy.